Alright, welcome back, guys. I know it's been a while since I've made a video, but today we're gonna work on something I picked up at an antique store a while back, and a couple weeks ago. So I picked up this little oil can here. I bought this because I'd never seen one like this. It's got a little plunger, push button doohickey to squirt the oil. Basically, I'm just used to the old school, Tin Man style like this. This is a Singer. Got that from my grandpa. But that's the kind of oil cans I'm used to, and I've never seen one like this. So I got home, looked it up, and of course it's like super sought after. All the old guys want them. Bring back memories of their childhood and such. This is a Eagle number 66, made in USA. Somebody, previous owner, I guess, scratched their initials in there. I think it's HDA. Don't know who that was. Anyway, it's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's got a few little dents and dings here and there, nothing major. There's a pretty good little dent right there, but I like how it looks, so we're not gonna like restore it. I'm not gonna polish it or any of that crap. I just want to get it to work because it doesn't work. It is froze solid. So hopefully we'll get it broke apart and figure out what's going on. So I've got a few little wrenches over here. I got some PB blaster, some brake clean, all kinds of other stuff to squirt on it and hopefully get it freed up. So let's figure this thing out, because I've never taken one of these apart. I did find a picture on the internet of an exploded diagram of all the parts, so hopefully I won't lose anything, because there are some little ball bearings and springs in there. Excuse me. And let's get into it. So I really have no idea how this thing comes apart. Yeah, the cap's kind of beat up a little bit. It's got some dents and dings on it. That's gonna need to be replaced. That's pretty rough looking. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of gross in there. Let me see here. I can't see on this camera. There we go. Yeah, that's a little raggedy, but not a lot of stuff coming out of it, so that's good. Let's see here. Need to get a screwdriver. Let's see. I'm going to use my my gunsmithing screwdrivers, or hologram, because that screw is like a little brass screw, and it's already boogered. So I don't want to tear it up any more than I have to. Let's see, looks about like that. Yeah, that one might work. Hopefully this thing isn't tight, super tight. Oh, no, that's not tight at all. Sweet. Alright, let's try not to lose this. Alright, I think, is there a spring in there? Possibly. Looks kind of like it. Ew. That's really gross in there. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's all white and crusty. Alright, so hang on just a second. Let me refer to that picture right quick, and I'll be right back, because I want to make sure that there's nothing missing on this thing. Well, if I hit the right button, I'll cut you off. Alright, just for you guys as reference, that's what the inside of this thing looks like. And as you can see, there's a spring and a ball bearing in there, which is what I thought. Got another spring on the trigger deal. Get my professional pointer here. So there's another spring here on the trigger. Not sure. Oh, that's the nut. There's a little teeny spring and a ball bearing there, or a little check ball. I guess it's a check ball probably. not a ball bearing, but so 2 little check balls, 3 springs, and we should be good. That's the pickup tube. So I was gonna print this out so I could just have it sitting there to look at it, but like a dingus I didn't. So all right, so let's try and get this spring out of here. Let's hope it's in here first of all. Oh yeah, it is. Good. Okay. All right, so there's the little spring, and I don't know what this white stuff is. I mean, I've never seen oil turn white, so I don't know what they had in this thing, but it's really chalky. Sorry, I can't, the camera's at an angle. I got to keep looking around it to see if y'all can even see what I'm trying to show you, but let's not lose that. Now, there should be a little check ball in there, but it looks like it's pretty well stuck in there. Sorry if that's busting your eardrums. Okay, let's try and the pick, and if that won't work, if I can't get it loose, we'll squirt some stuff down in there, see if we can loosen that up. I don't have a straw for this stuff. I gotta shoot this off to the side so I don't squirt myself in the face with it. Because if y'all know anything about brake clean, that stuff comes out super fast and hard. I don't want to booger the little check ball up, but I'm hoping it'll I can kind of wiggle it loose, you know. I might have to just let that soak for a second, but we can take the rest of this stuff off and get her going. One thing I did notice was for an old classic piece of Americana, you want to be really careful with these nuts, because even if you get the right size wrench, there's a lot of slop in play. So you don't want to booger them up. So I'm going to have to use the 12-point side and get those out of there. I think I'll take this one off first. And man, nothing on here is tight so far. That's good. Let's see here. I think the whole thing will just come on off. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty gross too. Alright, so I'm going to try and keep these in kind of a relative order. So once we take this off, this whole thing will come out, and then we can address that little ball bearing doohickey. Check ball. So let's see, this unscrews. And then you've got the nut behind that. Oh, don't wanna booger this up. Hang on a second. Let me hold that in place. Ah, wrong way, dummy. There we go. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna go bending stuff since this is... Alright, so that's loose. Now, if I recall, you've got to you gotta turn this thing some funky way that I don't even know if it's gonna go. This this button kind of interlocks into this thing with like some funky little keyway design deal. I don't know what you call it, but I don't know how I'm gonna get that. It's back in here. I may have to put this one back on to get so it'll hold still. That'll kind of anchor it a little bit for me. Sorry if I'm blocking what y'all are saying here. if this thing is frozen up like the rest of this deal, I may have to just soak this in PB Blaster for a couple of days and come back. Yeah, I can put that on there. I don't really want to get some vice grips and grab that, but that may be the only choice I got. I don't want to booger that up. Alright. Hold tight. Alright, so had a little bit of an issue. This little button there popped off the shaft. I'm sure we can fix that. It's no biggie if I get my big old hands on it there. This can be cleaned up, obviously, with some real light sandpaper. Smooth that out. It's going to need to be cleaned up anyway, but I got that out with some vice grips. Basically, that was the only thing. Everything is just frozen solid in this piece. So here's the spring, all that. Again, have y'all ever seen oil just turn white like that? I mean, I don't know how long this thing's been sitting, but that's fine. We'll figure it out, you know. I mean, it's not that big a deal. We're gonna clean her up. What I was talking about, this being kind of locked in there, you got to turn it. Maybe that's a different, like a different model. I mean, I saw a guy on YouTube take one of these apart for some kind of restoration project, and it was an Eagle 66. But his, like right here, and maybe the piece is still in there, I don't know, but it had like a little notch, and it kind of, they fit together, and then he twisted it, and then it was locked in. So mine doesn't seem to have that, so I don't know. But anywho, so that's why I was thinking twist it, and the only thing I could grip when only that much was showing and it had all this loose was the little button, and so the button just went pop, popped right off. But it's like pressed on there, so that's no big deal. So we'll figure all this out. Alright, so there's no little check ball in there. Alright, so no check ball on that. There should be one in the top and one in the bottom. So let's get this thing back off. And of course I tightened it down too much. Alright, so we'll deal with that here in a second. So here's the internals. And so up in here there should be a little check ball and a spring. And there should be a check ball in here that we cannot get out yet. So there's the inside. Let's see if y'all can see this. Sorry, I hope I'm not moving the camera every time I do that. I gotta touch the camera so I can turn it on and see, but it's not too bad in there. It just smells like PB Blaster right now, or brake clean. Alright, so let's try and get this sucker apart here. I probably am going to have to soak this in something because I don't want to tear this up, getting this out. And that little check ball is still, it's stuck in there. Sorry about your ears there, I should have warned you. And there's one in here too. So all this is going to need to be just soaked, probably in some cleaner, scrubbed real good. May even clean some of it up on just a little wire wheel, real easy. Nothing major, you know, just whoop. And I can actually see through this, so that's clear, but we'll try and figure out, try and get something to get down in there and kind of scrub it a little bit if we can. I'll get that nozzle off. But a lot of the ones too that I saw on YouTube, where there's only a couple videos of guys taking these apart, so there's not a lot of information, and some of them they don't even show it. I only found one video where the guy actually showed taking it apart, and his was obviously different than mine. But most people have a rubber gasket. This looks like cork, some kind of like cork or felt material. So I don't know if this is the original or a replacement, or maybe their rubber one was a replacement. I don't know. But I don't know how many years they made these either, so if y'all know, let me know. It's the Eagle number 66, but like I say, apparently, like a lot of classic cars, the prices are going up on these things because all the old guys want them. So, alright, I'm gonna try and get this loose. I may have to do it over here on my leg where I got some, got a little bit more torque to it. And then we'll try and clean up some of this stuff just by hand. I need to go grab some brushes because I'm not prepared. I'm not in my usual building, or not in my usual little room in the house I work on stuff in. I'm out in one of my outbuildings because I'm cleaning this building up so we can start some projects. We've got quite a few automotive type stuff to work on, two-wheeled type stuff. So, but you know, I'm still gonna do all the other stuff I do on this channel and look for arrowheads and all that stuff. Oh yeah, that's not coming off my hand. So let me put the GUR on it here and see if I can just bust it loose right quick without tearing it up. Yep, nope, tearing it up. Okay, hang on. Wow, that is in there. That is like fused. Yeah, let's make everything out of brass because that's smart. Alright, I'm gonna have to soak that in something because I just boogered that a little bit. But like I said, we'll clean that up. I'm afraid this little check ball is going to come out when I'm least expect it. I see it in there. It's just sitting right there. But it is just jammed in there. Come on. Come on. Just will not come out. At least I hope it's in there. It looks kind of like it. Alright, get this right out of the way. Wow, this thing is just nasty. Yeah, she needs to soak. Alright, I got a little paint stirrer thing. Let me soak this sucker down with some PB Blaster. And, sorry. And we'll, whoa, about knocked y'all over. Kind of precarious anyway, as it is. Alright, let me stand up here so I can see what I'm doing. Somewhat. Just fill all these little reservoirs with PB Blaster and get it all around there. Yummy. Put some down there. We'll just leave that for maybe a day. I don't know. We'll come back to it. That looks yummy. Squirt it down in the holes a little more. Oh yeah. So we'll let that work its magic. It smells yummy. And let me go in the house and grab some little brushes and stuff and try and clean this out. Yeah, I mean, it's not too far gone. The, you know, springs are, I mean, this is a super lightweight spring anyway. This spring seems pretty good. It's not rusted or anything. It's got a little bit, but lubricate it back down. It should be alright. I'll have to cut a new gasket out of cork or something. Alright. We'll be back. Alright. Sorry. So to get the little nozzle off that end and to bust this loose, I basically had to use my bench vise and just carefully put just enough pressure to get that off, but we'll clean that up. Then I got a little boogered from that using the improper tools, but yeah, that check ball is stuck in there, so try and fish that one out if we can. Yep. Alright, and there should be a spring back there somewhere. And it's in there, but it is gunky. Holy cow. Alright, let me get that with a little bit of cleaner. Let's see here. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Come on, I hear you in there. Yeah, splash that right up in my face. That's good. Just gonna try and work some of this crusty stuff off around it. Just can't quite seem to hook it. Come on now. Come on. Alright, that's not wanting to come out, so we're gonna soak her down. A little PB blaster. Just let that soak in there. I'll clean off some of these little parts. Get some of this crud off of them. Like I said, I'm not trying to restore this thing back to like mint condition. I just want to get it functioning. So get a lot of this crud out of these threads and that is not easy to do with this tiny little screw. Alright. Close enough for government work. Yeah, this little check ball's got a lot of crud on it. Try and clean that off too. That comes right off. There we go. It's almost the size of a BB, just a little smaller. That's clean. We just gotta get that other one out. Remember, there's still one in there. So this is the part that really I want to, this is the little finger trigger. So we need to get all this crud off of here. Hope I'm not shaking the camera like crazy. Try and lift my arms up off the table. Some cleaner on there. There we go. Oh yeah. But need to find. I don't have any really tiny little brushes to get in there. All the ones I got are like for stuff that size, which I'll run one around in there. But I may have to go to the hardware store, see if I can find some little brushes. Probably at a craft store or something. But let's get some of this. Get this newer one. Little stiffer brushes on it. I think that'll do. Throw a little brake clean down in there and clean that up. Just let that soak. Sorry about that. I keep whacking the daggone camera, don't I? All right, let's see if we can. I don't want to booger the outlet hole in this thing, but I think it's a little plugged. Oh yeah, that's much better. See right through there. Ta-da! Alright, so that's clean. I got some pipe cleaners I might run. That's what I need. Pipe cleaners to get in this stuff. Dadgummit, why didn't I think of that before? But some of this is pretty hard and pipe cleaners aren't going to do the job, so I need something a little more robust. I still got to get that. Still got to get the ball out of this one. I can see it sitting in there too. It is, man, it's just stuck in there. I'm trying to whack it with this thing. Come on. You know you want to come out. Apparently you don't. If I got a little more, something a little softer. Daggone, man. He is really stuck in there. Alright, I'm not going to make y'all just sit and watch me struggle with this, so I'm going to cut this off for a little bit and I'll cut it back on. Hopefully we'll try and reassemble the trigger part and make sure it works, and I'm going to clean up some of this stuff. I may have to work on some of this tomorrow. It's getting kind of late now and it's pretty dang cold in here. Actually, I mean, it's not bad. I got a little heater, but it ain't doing jack. So alright, we'll be back. Alright, welcome back. It's been a couple days since I did the last part of the video. I got busy having to fix my air compressor. Had some issues with that because it's been sitting for a while, but got the little finger plunger cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to clean up the rest of this, some real fine sandpaper. Same with some of the parts that are still washing in here that we kind of boogered a little trying to get apart. The lid gasket was totally shot, of course, but I went to the hardware store and got a little pack of O-rings that are about the right size, so this should fit down in there and that should do fine. If it doesn't, if it's not quite thick enough, because this was pretty thin but it was wide, so if this isn't wide enough, doesn't seal it up good enough, we can probably find some gasket material at the auto store and make one, but they didn't have any wide fiber gaskets that size, just rubber O-rings, so it was like $1 or something, so I went with that. As far as cleaning all that white buildup out of here, I'm just using a little drill bit and just getting in there and kind of twisting around, and I've actually got a lot of nasty crud out of there, so I still got a ways to go. But anyway, I'm gonna keep working on this and then I'll cut y'all back on and we'll eventually put this thing back together and see if she functions. But this already works in here a whole heck of a lot better. It's a lot smoother, so it's still binding up a little bit, but I think, you know, once you put the spring in there, that keeps it from going too deep anyway, so that should be fine. But it's that white stuff where I stirred it up. But I got this little dowel and I'm gonna wrap this with sandpaper and just run it around in there and clean that big chamber out real good, as good as I can get it. But I'm not gonna be able to get all the stuff out. I mean, it's just, but it's already, I'd say 90% better than it was. This one's the worst one right here, and that's your discharge. So that's your suction discharge. There's your little thumb trigger, finger trigger. So I gotta keep, this one's where all this stuff came out. I was just cleaning this one out. So I'm gonna keep working on that one, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I got the inside of this cleaned out pretty good with the sandpaper wrapped around that dowel. I used the different size drill bits to get in here, clean these out. This one was packed full of pretty nasty stuff. Let me show you all that. That's all the stuff that came out of that. That's your pickup tube. So that wasn't gonna do us any favors. And actually the other day in here, all around this lip was that same kind of stuff. It was just a big circle of packed, dried, rotting, nasty oil crap in there. So I used my picks and just went around there and cleaned all that out, and then washed it up with some brake clean and carb cleaner and got her pretty cleaned out. So I'm getting close to putting it back together. I'm gonna basically try and excuse me, got something stirred up. I'm gonna try and clean off these little tiny check balls because they've got some crud. They're not round at all. They've got some crud on them. They've been soaking in carb cleaner, brake cleaner, so hopefully the stuff will break up. I think I'm just gonna take them and put them on the sandpaper and just roll them around with my finger. And that's some pretty fine sandpaper. It should polish them up pretty good. And then I'm gonna try and put this thing back together. All right, be right back. Well, I just had a lot of fun crawling around on my hands and knees for about a half hour looking for this tiny little spring that of course was the last piece of the puzzle. And as I picked it up, doing, right out of my hand, ended up down on the floor way back under there. But I was looking everywhere. I figured it was over here somewhere. Maybe it landed in that bucket of tools. Maybe it was way over here. I don't know. It's so tiny it didn't even make a sound. But yep, way back under the table, all the way against the wall. I was about to give up. I thought we was pretty much done. But anyway, all right, let me finish putting this thing back together, and I'm gonna put some oil in it and we'll try it out. The only thing I'm worried about is there appears to be a little rubber gasket in behind this little knurled doohickey right here, so I may get some leakage out the trigger, but she works now, so hopefully I'm getting this all back together. I'm just going off that picture and how I kind of remember taking it apart, but we'll see if she works. I mean, everything's cleared out, so let me get this thing together and hopefully not send that spring across the room again. Alright, you can probably see that red in there until I cheated, but I didn't have any motor oil, so I put some Marvel in there. Clicked her off a few times, started building pressure, and it doesn't appear to be leaking around here. Oh, maybe, yep, maybe a little bit. So definitely gonna have to address that little rubber gasket in there, but all in all it works pretty darn good. And that sucker, it's got a little stream on it. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Alright, well, hope y'all liked that video. And anyway, that's Eagle 66 little hand oiler. So I think the next thing we're going to try and fix up is a big bow saw I got, big 42 incher. It's got some rust and crud on it. I need to clean it up, and then we're going to get to some hopefully bigger projects. Like I say, I got several motorcycles that need attention, and an old Ford truck. So, all right, appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you on the next one. All right, just a quick little side note. I took the trigger back out of it, and the O-ring that was in there was so dry rotted that it basically just broke into a bajillion pieces. I mean, it's like, it's almost hardened like plastic now. It's so dry rotted. So I'll just have to go to the hardware store and look through all their boxes of O-rings and find something. And I may go to the auto parts store and get it something a little bit thicker and wider for this, so that it covers the whole lip up here. I don't think it was gonna leak, but I should have filled it up, put the cap on it, and turned it over and tried that before I started squirting it. But I think it'll be all right. But just to be sure, we might get some felt or cork material. Not felt. What am I thinking? Whatever this stuff is, fiber. Yeah, this fiber material, and get some of that maybe at the auto parts store, or some gasket maker, and just make my own little gasket out of it. But anyway, so appreciate y'all watching, but we're gonna get this thing back together and hopefully use it on some of the upcoming projects. All right, appreciate you watching.